Oh, good evening, everyone. Once again, apologies for taking so long to get this new information out. Well, I just had a question come up in my mind last night. If not now, when? So the when is now. But let's start by giving a lot of credit where credit is due to the young lady Nikki Klann and team of Bonds for the Win and Operation Restoration for the work they are doing. They have taken what can only be seen as a very awesome first step initiative in the right direction. However, listening to her in an interview, in my opinion, leads to a question. And that question is, what is a republic? Let's start with Merriam-Webster definition. We'll put that which is most applicable. Republic. A government having a chief of state who is not a monarch and who in modern times is usually a president. 2. A political unit having a republican form of government. B. A government in which supreme power resides in the body of citizens entitled to vote and is exercised by elected officers and representatives responsible to them and governing according to the law. 3. A constituent, political and territorial unit of the former nations of Czechoslovakia, the Soviet Union, or Yugoslavia. Okay, so it's not working the way it's supposed to. Okay, republic, a commonwealth, that form of government in which the administration of affairs is open to all citizens. Oh, in another sense, it signifies the state independently of its form of government. Next, let's look at the etymology of this word. State, in which supreme or executive power rests in the people via representatives chosen by citizens entitled to vote. Oh, you can read the rest of that. My voice is going to give out a lot quicker than I thought. Here's a few examples of how a republic is used. Dominican Republic, French Republic, the People's Republic of China. In the Roman Republic, a holder of a military command during active service, also a title bestowed on victorious generals in the Roman Empire, and the emperor as commander-in-chief of the armies. This should show that what a republic is depends on the definition, which definition is used. So let's see if we can determine which definition is being used for our republic, and see that it was first used for a title for holders of Roman military command and the emperor. So the real question is what is our republic? Well, it should be obvious that it's not a government, as we have a federal government, and a republic and government is virtual polar opposite of a federal government, meaning they are incompatible to even be combined. Let's take a look at the etymology of the words republic and government. It's a noun, one who favors a republican form of government or republican principles, or as Johnson puts it, one who thinks a commonwealth without monarchy the best government. Oh, 1712 as an adjective. 1712, belonging to the republic, the nature of a republic, consonant to the principles of a republic, from republic and, with capital R, of, pertaining to, or favoring one of the various American parties that have been called Republican. By 1806, the modern GOP dates from 1854. Okay, next the word government. Government, the act of governing or ruling, system by which a thing is governed, especially a state, from Old French government, control, direction, administration. Modern French government, from governor, to steer, to be at the helm of, govern, rule, command, direct. From Latin, gubernare, to direct, rule, guide, govern. Originally, to steer, to pilot. The meaning of the governing power is given place and is from 1702. Let's include self-government to get a better comprehension of the overall meaning of the word. Of persons, self-control, of states, nations, province, cities, etc. Administration of its own affairs without direction or interference from self, plus government. Related, self-governing, self-governed, as an adjective of persons marked by self-control. Most of you should find it interesting that republic was first used as a title given to Roman military commanders and to the Emperor of Rome as the commander-in-chief of armies. In my opinion, this is likely how a republic became what it has evolved to today, because the Roman emperor was the government head. Speculation on my part, but it does make logical sense to me. At this point, we need to look at the definition of a few more words to have a complete comprehension of what our republic is. Therefore, if we think logically, we can determine that our republic must be a state. To strengthen this, let's look at a few more words. Let's start with commonwealth as defined by Merriam-Webster, second, etymology, and third, Black's Law, 4th edition. Commonwealth, a nation, state, or political unit, such as one founded on law and united by compact or tacit agreement of the people for common good, one in which supreme authority is vested in the people. Republic. Commonwealth etymology, mid-15th century. Commonwealth, a community, whole body of people in a state, from common plus wealth. Specifically, state with a republican or democratic form of government from 1610s. From 1550s as any body of persons united by some common interest, applied specifically to the government of England in the period 1649 to 1660, and later to self-governing former colonies under the British Crown, 1917. In the U.S., it forms a part of the official name of Pennsylvania, Massachusetts, Virginia, Kentucky, and Puerto Rico, but has no special significance. Commonwealth according to Black's Law, a public or common will or welfare. This cannot be regarded as a technical term of public law, though often used in a political science. It generally designates, when so employed, a republican frame of government, one in which the welfare and rights of the entire mass of people are the main consideration, rather than the privileges of a class or the will of a monarch, or it may designate a body of citizens living under such a government. Next, League, Merriam-Webster, an association of nations or other political entities for a common purpose, the League of Nations. Etymology, alliance, from French League, confederacy, league, from Italian Liga, from legare, to tie, to bind, from Latin ligare, to bind. Originally among nations, subsequently extended to political associations and sports associations. League of Nations is attested from 1917, created 1919. Black's Law, a treaty of alliance between different states or parties. It may be offensive or defensive, or both. It is offensive when the contracting parties agree to unite in attacking a common enemy. Defensive when the parties agree to act in concert in defending each other against an enemy. That's from Wharton. Union, an act or instance of uniting or joining two or more groups, more things into one. The formation of a single political unit from two or more separate and independent units. Etymology, action of joining one thing to another. Also, agreement, accord. Also, state of matrimony. Old French, union, from Latin, unicum. Oneness, unity, a uniting, also in Latin, meaning a single pearl or union, thus unus one. One, unique, sense of action of uniting into one political body is attested from 1540s. Meaning a group of people or states is from 1650s. Short for trade union. It is recorded from 1833. U.S. political sense is attested from 1775, used especially during the Civil War in reference to the remainder of the United States after the Southern secession. Union, Black's Law. A league, a federation, an unincorporated association of persons for a common purpose, as a trade or labor union. A joinder of separate entities. A popular term in America for the United States, also in Great Britain for the consolidated governments of England and Scotland, or for the political tie between Great Britain and Ireland. Okay, next, federation, Merriam-Webster. An encompassing political or societal entity formed by uniting smaller, or more localized entities, such as a federal government. Federation etymology, union by agreement. Noun of action from past principle. To trust, confine, persuade, covenant, a league. Black's Law, ordinarily an unincorporated association of persons for common purpose. Next, federated, Merriam-Webster, of, relating to, forming, or joined in a federation of federated republics. On this Western Hemisphere, all tribes and people are forming into one federated whole. Federate, etymology, 1814, applied and federated, a back formation from federation, or else from Latin. Combining, have a treaty, bound by treaty, past participle, to establish by treaty, covenant, treaty, alliance, to trust, confine, persuade. Black's Law, an independent central organism having its own machinery, absorbing in view of international law all the individual states associated together. I hope everybody can comprehend what that's actually saying there, because it's very important. And now a little from Emir Devadil's Law of Nations, page 81 and 82. This authority over all over each member, therefore, essentially belongs to the body politic or state, but the exercise of that authority may be placed in different hands according as the society may have ordained. If the body of the nation keeps in its own hands the empire or the right to command, it is 1. A popular government, 2. A democracy if it entrusts to a certain number of citizens to the Senate. It establishes an aristocratic republic. Finally, if it confines the government to a single person, the state becomes a monarchy. This political authority is the sovereignty, and he or they who are invested with it are the sovereign. So according to Devadil, there are 3 kinds of government that all forms of government fall into: popular governments, democracies, and monarchies. Next, let's look at the definitions of the 3 types of governments we have available to us as defined by Black's Law, only putting in that which is applicable. If you want the complete definition, Black's Law is easily found online. Federal government, the system of government administered in a state formed by the union or confederation of several independent or quasi-independent states, also the composite state so formed. In strict usage, there is a distinction between a confederation and a federal government. In a federal government, on the other hand, the allied states form a union, not indeed to such an extent to destroy their separate organization or deprive them of quasi-sovereignty with respect to the administration of their purely local concerns, but so that the central power is erected into a true state or nation, possessing sovereignty both external and internal, with the administration of national affairs is directed and its effects felt not by the separate states deliberating as unions, but by people of all in their collective capacity as citizens of the nation. National government. A national government is a government of people of a single state or nation, united as a community by what is termed social compact, possessing complete and perfect supremacy over persons and things so far as they can be made lawful objects of civil government. Okay, here's the one I like: Republican government. A government in the Republican form. The government of people, a government by representatives chosen by people. Based on all that we have already been over, what do you think our federal government falls under? And I think this is a good place to stop. But once again, let's give credit where credit is due. Nikki Klann and all those working with her as a team, they have taken a very awesome first step initiative in the right direction. Okay, let me say just a couple more things. We've seen that republic was first used as a title. Can it still be used as a title today? I think it actually is still being used as a title today based on the fact that one of the examples was the People's Republic of China. And we know China is a communist state. So republic has to be part of the title of what they're calling their country. Could it also be part of a title of what we're calling our country? Because we know it's not a government. And if we've paid close attention, the most we have to come to the comprehension that, as stated, it would be a state. It's not a commonwealth because we don't have control. They have control. A federal government. You read the definition with me that they have the ability to have control and rule over us as citizens. See, they took away our sovereignty and we didn't even realize it at the time. We have failed in so many ways, but I'm hoping that sooner or later enough people will wake up to what our republic is and what our federal government is and demand that we get rid of the federal government and replace it with a republic and government. Okay, once again, remember to visit both my sites at YouTube and Rumble and give them a like. But most importantly, please share. Excuse me, them, especially with friends and family in other countries, as this is a worldwide war against evil. Many blessings to all of you, and thank you for taking your valuable time to watch this presentation. Again, thank you so very much. Good night.